Hello, Accelerated Math 6-7 students. We are in Module 4, and this is Lesson 23. And Module 4, Lesson 23 is called Multi-Step Problems in the Real World. Multi-step problems in the real world. So you're going to turn there into your comp book so that we can get these written down. And here is the iPad with our notes. So let's get that to focus so that you can see them. Okay. So here we go. Pay attention, iPad. All right. Multi-step problems in the real world. And I need to take that off. Okay. Here we go. Multi-step problems in the real world. Our goal for today. Today we will analyze equations with two variables to make tables and graphs of the relationships. Interesting. Analyze equations. So that means we're going to look at them. We're going to study them. We're going to break them apart and see what's happening. With two variables to make tables and graphs of the relationships. So this is taking us back all the way to Module 1 because you have to remember what a table is. I'll give you a hint, a ratio table. We've been working with those, okay? Graphs, they're like the coordinate plane graphs. So that's what we're talking about with those. Okay, question. How do you label a graph and why is it important? Ooh, that's a very good question. Very, very, very good question. Very, very important. So we'll come back to that question. Hopefully you can answer it at the end. All right, so let's take a look at the try this. The try this says, Evan can type 40 words per minute. Let W be the number of words typed and M be the number of minutes spent typing. Okay, so our job now is to figure out which one is the independent and which one is the dependent. Evan can type 40 words per minute. Let W be the number of words typed and let M be the number of minutes spent typing. So here's my question. Can you have words typed if you don't spend any time typing them? No. So the independent in this problem has to be the amount of time typing, right? So the independent variable that you're going to write on that line, and I'm going to move this over here so that we can show this on here. So the independent variable in here is the amount of time, right? Time spent. So we're going to write on this line right here, time spent. And what variable did it say? It said let W be the number of words typed and let M be the number of minutes spent typing. So this is going to be M. So we now know our independent variable is M. Our dependent variable, well then we only have one other choice, but our dependent variable is going to be the words that you type. Words that you type. And so the variable is going to be W. Okay? So we figured out the independent variable and the dependent variable. And then we have to write an equation. It says Evan can type 40 words per minute. Let W be the number of words typed and M be the number of minutes spent typing. Okay, so we can write an equation, and the equation is going to be he can do 40 words per minute. So we know if we have 40 times the time spent, right, because he can do 40 words in 1 minute, so that means 40 times M equals the number of words typed. So there's our equation. We just figured out our equation, yes or no. Okay, so now if we go back to our goal, today we will analyze equations with two variables and make tables and graphs of the relationships. Okay, so we already figured out our independent and our dependent. So I'm going to draw these two things because we talked about them earlier. So remember this table? Do any of you remember this table? It was from a long time ago. We had an X right here and we had a Y right here, and we said that the X is always the, what is it? Independent. And the Y is always the dependent, right? So if X is the independent, which variable did we choose for independent? M. So this is really M. This is going to be W, okay? And it said for every 1 minute, she can type 40 words. So if we put 1 minute in there, no, Evan. If he only typed for 1 minute, how many words did he type? 40. If he typed for 2 minutes, how many words did he type? 80. If he typed for 3 minutes, how many words did he type? 120. If he typed for 4 minutes, how many did he type? 160. If he typed for 5 minutes, how many did he type? 200. And we'll stop there. Okay? So this ratio table now helps us figure out what our graph is going to look like. Okay? And you have to remember, this is which axis? This is a review to see if you guys remember this stuff. Which axis is this? Remember, it's horizontal. Horizontal is the same thing as the x-axis, right? Okay, the vertical is always known as the y-axis. What was the x? So go back up to the x. The x is m, so the m is time spent. You're going to write time spent down here. The w was the dependent, so you're going to go up here and you're going to write words typed. Yes? Okay, so now we have all our labels, and you have to remember on a graph, it is super, super important to remember to label your graph, because if you don't, then you can't put anything on it. So time spent, and this location right here is always 0, so that means 0 minutes gives you 0 words. Make sense? So then, what did we go up to on our ratio table? We went to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what our counting looks like on the x-axis. Now let's do the y-axis. We had 40, 80, 120, 160, and 200. Okay? All right, and now we graph it. So for every 1 minute, oh, we could also put minutes in parentheses so we remember it's in minutes. Okay, for every 1 minute, he typed 40 words, so we put it up. For every 2 minutes, he typed 80 words. For every 3 minutes, he typed 120. For every 4, he typed 160. And for every 5, he typed 200. And now you have just graphed this word problem. Okay? So go back to our goal. It says, today we will analyze equations. Can't even see it, sorry. Today we will analyze equations with 2 variables to make tables and graphs of their relationships. Did we make a table of their relationship? Yep, right there. Did we make a graph of their relationship? Yep, right there. Did we make an equation? Yep, right there. Okay, so now let's go back to our question that I asked you at the very beginning of the lesson. It says, how do you label the graph and why is it important? How did we label our graph? We make sure that our independent variable is always, you need to write this down or remember it, always, 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 the independent is always the x. Always, 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 always. The dependent variable is always on the y-axis. Always, always, always. So you got to get that in your brain so that you remember. Okay? So independent is the x, dependent is the y. And make sure you have everything labeled so that the person who's reading your graph can understand what you graphed. Okay? And that's it. So you're going to practice this whole process with individual problems that I give you in class tomorrow. And that's all I have for you today. All right. Talk to you soon.